Hey, right, this is Nash here, and today we got an interesting video. It's not a fun one, but it's a video we need to go through and need to address nonetheless. If you were watching the Locked On Longhorns episode, and if you haven't gone and seen it, go check this out. Go check it out immediately after this one. Great episode. I was over there with Jonathan for Locked On Longhorns, and we were breaking down some analytics, the good and the bad. And one of the bad things, I mentioned it in there. I mentioned a thing of a brief statistic of 3 to 5 plays. And I said I was going to talk about it. Well, here we are. We're talking about it. We're going to be going through and looking at when we're going through these plays, remember, these are only the second half drives. We're not looking at any drives in the first half. I don't care about those. I know we're a good first half team. That's not the question here. But, nevertheless, before we get into it, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and comment down below what you think about this information I'm about to present to you. Let's get into it. So first, here we go. These are, now, the only thing I will have to say, add in before we get any further, we don't have any UTSA data, but that's not really a problem because we're about to get rid of Louisiana Monroe right here. I'm just really kind of throwing this up for the sake of it. But when you go to the Power 5 only, this is when you start to really kind of get into the interesting stuff. We've had 37 total drives in the second half versus Power 5 teams. 19 of those drives have been with 3 to 5 plays. And that makes up a total of 54% of the drives. And it's a little bit easier to see right here when you sort it out by the drives. And you see, yes, it pretty much looks around the 50% mark of 3 to 5 play drives. Why am I not counting the one play drives at the top? Mainly because of the end of the game thing versus Alabama. And the reason why I say that is because, we got the ball left with like 19 seconds left. I don't know if you can even count that a drive. So, I'm not going to count it a drive here. But that's the main reason why I'm not really considering the one-play drives. Also, I'm not going to sit here and say, because Bijan Robinson fumbling the ball is so rare. It doesn't happen that often. But I'm not going to sit here and pretend like it's a super rare occurrence that's never happened before. Now, you go into the garbage time removed. Okay? So you get rid of the Oklahoma game. You get rid of the West Virginia game. Because those games, we had such a large lead at the halftime. I don't know if you can really even consider the drives as good data. So what we're looking at here is Oklahoma State, Iowa State, Texas Tech, and Alabama. All games that we were in dogfights in, all games that we were close and battling in through the entire game. And again, it is a little hard to see, but 28 total drives, 17 drives consisting of 3 to 5 plays, and that's a 60.7% mark. Now, when you move that down to just the losses and you get rid of Iowa State, now Iowa State, I will be honest, in that game, we had a pretty decent showing in that game in the second half as far as putting together drives. We had one drive was 13 plays, another was 3 plays, another was 7 plays, another was 11, another was 5. And also, a little fun fact, I think it's one of 2 punts that we had on a play that was over 6 plays, or over 5 plays, so 6 plays or more. So that was a pretty rare punt in that game that we got to see. But over here, remember, we're looking at the losses only, and if we sort those out, that number, it looks a lot bigger, You can see, looking at 3 to 5, that 3 to 5 stretch looks a lot bigger than it did before. And it makes a lot of sense because in the games that we're losing, yes, we're seeing more of these drives. It's not a secret. It's not a coincidence. Going back to this, looking at the whole season, if you go and you just sort out and you get rid of, not really get rid of, but you kind of just like, black them out and kind of try and make them less relevant. You can still see them, but they're harder to see. And remember, this is the entire season, so Louisiana Monroe. Now, granted, UTSA is not in there. Don't want to get that out of the way. But 20 of the 23 drives with 3 to 5 plays, remember I was saying that rare punt that you saw? 88% of punts and turnovers came in those 3 to 5 play drives. So we're starting to get a sense of why I'm really harping on these 3 to 5 play drives and why it's so important. And you look at this, the 14 of 15 turnovers or punts in 5 plays or less. And this is, I forgot to say, this is not the entire season. This is just looking at the games that we lost. But it's showing, right here, in games that we lost, outside of the Oklahoma State game, and really in that game, the missed field goal, if you consider Burt Auburn making that field goal, that has nothing to do with the offense driving down the field. The offense, they did their job in that one instance. And then the other one, that's the Jatavian Sanders interception that you saw bounce off his hands. But if you were to consider that missed field goal turn green for a second, there's only, in all of our losses, there's only a single drive. Now, granted, it's only a single out of 6 total drives, so it's not a huge sample size. But there's only a single drive, and drives that have over 5 plays that wouldn't have been considered a success. Now, and let's dive deeper into Oklahoma State here, okay? Now, this is a reminder. Everything that we've seen up to this point is only the second half, and that continues right here. But we had 4 drives of 5 yards or less in the second half. Coming out of the half, our first 3 drives, we had a total of 4 yards. That's bad. And then when you consider that we had 4 plays and a punt and 27 yards, that first play had to, at the minimum, be, I think, a 17 or 18-yard play. And I'm pretty sure, I'm just going off the top of my head, I'm guessing that's where Brennan Thompson's reception was, and then we had a 3-and-out after that. And then 4 plays, 13 yards. 4 plays, 5 yards. Now, this is something I really wanted to kind of be a stickler on. Yes, we did technically score on this play. We were gifted the ball. I kid you not. I'm pretty sure it was I think we were in the 20-yard line when we were gifted the ball. Like, we got the ball on the 20, and we moved it 5 yards to the 15. Bravo, Texas offense. I hate to, I hate to, sound like that dude that's sitting here on YouTube, criticizing these dudes, but is this the best that we can do? And the answer, I'll tell you right now, it better be no. That better be no. Because when you have 66 yards in drives of 3 to 5 plays long, and that's 7 of 9 drives in the second half, and then also you get the 88 yards and over 5 plays. It screams, everything screams here that we need to start finding a way to sustain drives. And I'll have to investigate this for a future video, but I have a hunch that the issue is that Quinn Ewers is wanting to take too many deep shots, and he's not willing. Either that or whatever whether it's the offense is designed for this, or whether it's Quinn Ewers, whatever it is. Us not hitting lower shots on second down, on 2nd and 10, putting ourselves in 3rd and long, or 2nd and 7, putting ourselves at 3rd and 7, puts our offense at a disadvantageous position to converting a first down. So we either got to start taking lower stuff down below, because I'm pretty sure this, like I feel very good about this hunch. Because there is no reason on earth why, when our running backs are averaging 5 yards per carry, we should have second halves like this. It just doesn't make sense. This needs to be fixed immediately. And if we don't, the reality is we're not going to keep winning football games. And I say keep winning football games like we just won a football game. We're not going to win football games again this year without fixing this. But sorry for the doom and gloom, everybody. I hope y'all enjoyed the video. I mean, like, I enjoy these stats. These stats, technically, they didn't really make me that happy today. But, nevertheless, I appreciate you for tuning in. If you made it this far, I really, again, can't say it enough. I really appreciate it. And I'll just leave you with this. Hook 'em!